Happy Tuesday. Oop, I just hit something. Yesterday we had another 2-hour delay, which was a wonderful surprise. Again, I didn't think it was going to happen because it was mostly just kind of a snowy, rainy mix and nothing was really sticking to the ground. But overnight while I was sleeping, a couple inches stuck and we got a nice little delay just because of when it ended and how long it takes the town to make sure they can clean up everything. So that was a fun little surprise on a Monday. It is now Tuesday, and I thought this week I would pop in a few days and kind of share what we are up to. It's a full 5-day week, but we have kind of a funky week. On Thursday, we have our day-to-day, which if you were following my videos back in October, you'll know that we do this 3 times a year. And basically we just did our winter screening. We are using M-Class for our winter screening, and we're also using Ames Web. So M-Class for reading, Ames Web for math. So what we do is we all get together as a first grade team with the interventionists and the special ed teachers, and we kind of look at the data for all of first grade, and that helps us determine who we think might need some extra support in reading or math, and even in social emotional groups. And those groups are then formed, and that is how they go out during WIN. So during WIN, we determine the groups based on these winter screenings, and then of course input from the teachers, because screenings aren't everything, but they do give us some information about who needs some extra support in which areas. I actually thoroughly enjoy it. I love kind of looking at data and analyzing data, and seeing where the holes are and what we need to do going forward. And I also love that since we get to meet as a whole team, I get to hear about the students, not just in my class, but students across first grade, and just get a better idea of, how everybody is doing. So that day will be on Thursday, which means I am at school all day, but I'll have a sub all day. And then Friday is actually the 100th day of school. I cannot believe we are already at the 100th day, which is wild to me. I will, I think tomorrow I'll probably share some of the activities that we are going to do on 100th day, but that's going to be another themed day. So we'll have a sub on Thursday, and then Friday will be just a full day of 100th day activities. So 100th day reading, 100th day phonics activities, 100th day math activities, 100th day centers, and so on. So all that being said, let me share what we are up to today. I am finally in phonics assessing our Unit 7 foundations, which is NG and NK, glued sounds, welded sounds, whatever you want to call them. I feel like I have been teaching this for 3.5 weeks because I have. It's a 3-week-long unit anyway, but then we've had random days here and there. So now here we are on a Tuesday and I'm finally assessing. And I technically could have assessed yesterday, but I never want to come off a weekend and assess. So we did some review practice yesterday. We also did some practice with our sight words. We played Find the Fish, which I've shared about a million times. It's actually my first video that I ever made on YouTube. Cringy. But Find the Fish is an activity I've used for, math and literacy activities a million times before. I'll show you real quick how to play. Now, what I love most about Find the Fish is the versatility, because you can do this with so many different skills. I always introduce it first with numbers. I did it at the beginning of the year, whole group using a pocket chart, and just identifying those numbers 1 through 20. And I also like that you can switch it up. We've got Find the Fish, Where's the Worm, Spot the Spider. You can come up with all sorts of cute, fun things. You can make it seasonal. So here, I just did a grid. These are some of the heart words that my students are working on reading and writing. Here, of course, we are just reading them, but basically students get in pairs. They will have one person close their eyes and the other person hides the fish. I printed out on colored paper, so that way, sometimes with white paper, you can see through it. So here we are just, helping them not cheat. And then the other student has to say some, and then the person who hit it will flip it and say, nope, not there, 2. And then they have to clarify which 2, which is what I told them. The number 2. Nope, not there. And they basically keep going until they find it under the correct word. Like I said, very fun, very easy. The kids seem to really enjoy it, and it keeps them entertained for 8 minutes, which is great. I know for sure I'll be using it when we get to place value. I always have little cards that have 10s and 1s blocks on them, and they have to count it up and say the number before they find the fish. So I know we'll be using it then again too. Another little thing we've got going on is it is almost February, but I wanted to start this at the beginning of the week instead of waiting until February 1st. So we have Can We Fill Our Heart? And so this is going to be a whole class incentive here to kind of earn a class party or work towards something together. I explained many times in my classroom management videos that I don't like to do an incentive-based program all the time, but I am absolutely not opposed to doing one where we kind of work together or work towards something fun. At this time in the year, I feel like it's a great time to switch things up a little and have students work together for something, and they were very excited about this. The way it's going to work is students have to work together to fill up the heart. And now I did put a lot of circles on there because it's going to take them a long time. I basically want it to take all of February, and then hopefully by the end of February, we can fill our heart and earn something special. Up here in Massachusetts, we also have February vacation, so we will be out for a week. And then I make it very clear what types of things we are looking for to fill the heart. So I'm looking for students who are raising their hands and not interrupting. These are kind of the same, but also we've had interrupting, not during just like whole class discussion. So I want to put both up. Using kind words, because we're going to talk about kindness and filling our heart and love and all of that in February. And then following directions the first time. So if a student is able to do one of these things, or I really kind of see them trying extra hard to do it, I will call their name. They get to come up. I have pencils and crayons here. They will write their name in one of the circles and color it in with one of the crayons. Now, on top of just working together to fill up the whole thing and earn a class party, every Friday we also do our win time, and we have some free DAW Friday at the end of the day. I am going to, during win time, leave like an extra 10 minutes for free choice. And so anybody's name who got up on the board or filled a portion of the heart each week, so each Friday, they will get to earn that kind of extra free time. Now, I don't want this to be punitive, so the students who have not earned it, it's not like they are, having to sit and be quiet and put their heads down. They are doing what they would normally do anyway, which is during our win time, and they usually have options to do fun things like kings and queens after they get their work done. It'll just be that additional 10 minutes for students whose name is already on the heart, and they get to kind of do free choice, whatever they would like during that time. Students were super excited about it yesterday, but I will keep you updated on how it is going throughout the month. Okay, now because we are going to finally assess today, Unit 8 in Foundations kind of gets into those R-controlled vowels, and I don't want to start that on a Wednesday because, again, I'm not teaching Foundations on Thursday and Friday, so I'm going to wait until next week to really dive into the R-controlled vowels. But on day 1 of Unit 8 anyway, we are distinguishing between a blend and a digraph. So I have some slides that I'm going to use for that, just some practice ones. Let me pull those up and I'll show you what they are. Okay, so these are my phoneme segmentation slides. I have a bunch of them. There's actually 90 here, and then there's some editable ones. First, these are the CVC ones, just to show you how it works. It says, what sounds do you hear in this word? The word is vet, v-et. And then what I would actually have students do is we would tap the sounds first, and then I would have them write the words on their whiteboards. At the beginning of the year, I would definitely just have them work on the phoneme seg. We are going to incorporate phonics now. We have been in school for 97 days today, and we can definitely handle it. So obviously V-E-T, and what I would do is then have a student come up and they can reveal the circles to see if they were correct. Now, CVC we're gonna move past because we are past that. So after I teach students the difference between a blend and a digraph, we've already done lots on digraphs. So with blends, I have introduced it before. I just want students to understand that sometimes we see two consonants together, and unlike a digraph where it makes one sound, we will definitely hear the difference in both sounds. We'll hear both distinct sounds in a blend. And this is important for them to hear, especially with spelling. So here I'll tell students the word is slip. S-l-i-p. We will tap it first, and then I'll have students take out their whiteboard and they will try to write down the sounds they hear. S-l-i-p. And then again, I'll have somebody come up, reveal each one, and they can see if they are correct. So I have a bunch of these. Let me put that back. So we're gonna practice a little bit of this today. I have 30 slides for different blends, and then we even go into digraphs. So I'm gonna review some digraphs as well when I get there. Here we go, shed, shop, ship, and we have some like brush that have 4 sounds too. Here, brush, crash. So we're gonna practice a bunch of these today. No, sorry, we're gonna practice a bunch of these tomorrow. In math, we are starting a new unit. Actually, yesterday we started it where we are talking about the days and the weeks days of the week, and months of the year. So it will start off with a little calendar. We'll talk about how to write the date. It's really just a few days of that, and then the unit goes into time. But again, because we have only kind of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, I'm going to really just review some addition and subtraction strategies and introduce those beginning calendar concepts. So my students are definitely not proficient in subtraction right now. So each day it's going to be important that we kind of start off with our math talk and continue to practice those skills. And calendar, the unit of calendar that we're teaching, is not super intense, and most of my students already know this, so it's a good unit to continue reviewing as well. So let me show you what we're doing. To kick off our math block, we always start with some math talks. I actually just uploaded this slide I just made in my slides already, but I uploaded new math talks to my math talk bundle. Looks like this right here. Boop. And they all kind of look like this. So first it just starts off with a missing part of the number bond, and students will explain how they knew the missing part. And then it moves on to a bunch of problems like this, where we have the missing part of the number bond, and then we also have students express the addition and subtraction equation. My students, not only are they still working on subtraction, but we're still kind of working on that relationship between addition and subtraction. So I want them to practice this as well. And each day I'm gonna have one just within 10, just to really solidify those 10 friends of 10. And then the next one will be some sort of teen number, because we have been doing addition and subtraction within 20. So I do want them to be able to solve for this as well. And then again, I'll have a student share the missing part of the number bond and how they got it. And then I will ask students to come up and do the subtraction equation. So what does this number bond show once we solve the missing part? And then also the addition equation, really getting them to understand those parts and wholes. Then today, because like I said, I introduced it yesterday, we did that Addams Family song, Days of the Week, snap, snap, days of the week, snap, snap. You can just look it up online. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. So we did that, and then we talked about the days of the week in order. So I'm going to have students drag them into the correct spots just to do a quick little review. We do have this Jack Hartman 12 months of the year. This one's like an active one, because at that point they'd been sitting on the rug doing a math warm-up and calendar for a bit. So this one has them getting up and kind of moving as they say the months of the year. And then on this slide, I'm going to exit out of it because this is a dragging one. So these are on the side and I have it in slideshow mode. But here we want students to know the months of the year. And I also color coded them because we talked about what seasons we usually see in each of those months. So December, January, and February are winter, and so on. And then today we're also going to talk about writing the date. So here we are moving on from just putting those days of the week and months of the year in order. And now I want students to practice writing the date. So I'm going to show them the 3 different ways we can write it. This is today's date. And then I'm going to also have them take out their whiteboard. I'll have a student come up and circle one of these days on the calendar. And then we will identify, like if they come up and just circle February 6th, we'll talk about what day of the week it is, how we know it's Tuesday, February 24th, 2024. And I'll have them practice writing it those 3 different ways. So we're going to be doing a little bit of that today. Also yesterday, I just quickly at the end of the lesson used some index cards and I wrote each month of the year here. And then I had students on the count of 3, they had to get up and put themselves in order on the rug in the order of the month starting from January. All right, and the last thing I'll share before I get ready for the day is we are doing opinion writing. So this is the beginning of our anchor chart that we will use throughout the unit. We already talked about how we state our opinion first. I mentioned this, I think, a few weeks ago, but of course we started with what an opinion is. It is what we think or feel about something. And we talked about the difference between facts and opinions. And then when we are doing writing, or when we're writing an opinion piece, we state our opinion first. These are just some of the more popular starters that I want to give them to reference. We have other ones that we use as well. And then we need to give at least 2 reasons. And I wrote these transition words, first and next. So right now we've been really practicing on stating the opinion, providing 1 reason and a second reason in 3 separate sentences. And then I think today or tomorrow, I need to look at my plans, but today or tomorrow, we're going to talk about that concluding sentence and give some ideas here. So when I check in tomorrow, I can go ahead and share, if I have that down there, I'll share the opinion chart. All right, I'm going to spend these next few minutes getting ready for the kids before they arrive, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Oh, I thought of one thing. I was just looking at my calendar, and actually tonight is my second night on the Literacy Curriculum Review Committee. I don't know exactly what it is, but we are adopting a new ELA curriculum starting, I believe, in 2025. And we are going to spend this year doing some research and possibly picking some programs to actually pilot at our school. So I'm not going to go into the full thing now, but I wanted to let you know that this is my second meeting after school on Tuesdays, and I get to kind of talk about it with a big team of people. So I'm going to check in tomorrow morning. I think I'll start the day telling you how our meeting went, but this is something I'm very excited about. Good morning, happy Wednesday. Today, using some teacher math, is kind of like Friday. I explained this yesterday, but tomorrow we have our grade level data day, and then Friday is 100th day. So today feels like the last, real day of official instruction, because tomorrow will be review with the sub, and then Friday will be a bunch of fun themed 100th day activities. So I'm not fully planned for that, but I do have some ideas that I'll share with you in a little bit. But I wanted to start off by talking about the literacy committee that I am on for curriculum. So I know I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, but Massachusetts, along with many other states around the country, are either already putting into place, planning to put into place some sort of legislature or law that has a finer stipulation on what we can use in the classroom in terms of curriculum. So specifically for literacy. So being ahead of the game, which I love, our district is already looking into it. We have a committee already, and we are going to start kind of narrowing down some of the curriculums that we want to use. Now, I fully understand and recognize that there's going to be no, great curriculum, but we do need to use one that is kind of green lighted by Massachusetts when they finally get there, and likely those ed reports reviews that have already come out are going to be a big part of that, of what gets green lighted and what does not. So we kind of need to look into what we're using, and this is going to be an all-encompassing curriculum. So it will be those foundational skills, it'll be the language strand, it will be writing, it'll kind of be everything. And my school is K through 2, but my district is K through 6. So it also has to be something that kind of meets all of it. So it honestly sounds like a big task to try to figure one out, but I'm excited to try to do so. So yesterday afternoon was our second meeting. On the first meeting, we talked just a little bit about what a knowledge building curriculum is, the benefits of one, what it really means. And we talked a little bit about what our current curriculum, which I have mentioned to many of you, is kind of like a homegrown curriculum. We're using the genre study, but then for the foundational skills, we do use Hegarty and Foundations. And then for writing, we kind of also do our own thing. Again, this is why there's a reason for streamlining everything and making sure we're all on the same page. Along with streamlining everything, we did mention our concerns about wanting to, still hold on to that teacher autonomy and choose lessons and add in things based on what we think is best for our students. So when it comes down to it and we do have a curriculum, I do hope we continue to be able to do that. With our principal and the principals at the other schools in the district, it does sound like we will be able to. So thankfully, I'm not concerned too much about that, but it will be nice for us to all be on the same page in terms of what we're teaching, the vertical alignment, scope and sequence of it all. And then yesterday was our second meeting, and so we kind of got together K1 teachers, 2-3 teachers, 4-6 teachers, and we talked about what would be most important in a curriculum for us. So it was funny to just hear K1 teachers were like, if we envision this perfect literacy block, we want 40 minutes of explicit phonemic awareness and phonics instruction, right? Those foundational skills. Then we want to read aloud and introducing vocabulary, background knowledge. We want solid writing program where we have where we're teaching sentence structure, syntax, along with the genres. Just this kind of ideal world. And then when you get up to 4 through 6, they still want a little bit of that foundational skills, but they also really want a lot of student choice and being able to discuss and really do a deep dive into all of these topics. So it'll be interesting to see when we start researching different programs, which ones are going to best align kindergarten all the way through 6th grade. So basically yesterday we came up with like this checklist of this unicorn of a curriculum that we are looking for. And like I said, I recognize that we're not going to find the unicorn product that's going to be best and most perfect. Every single curriculum, boxed curriculum, comes with pros and cons, but we'll find one that gives us most of what we need and then supplement probably as needed is the way it will likely go. So being on this committee means that we meet every single week, and the curriculum director for our district is the one who's running this, and she's just like setting us up to have the background information, pick what we want in terms of what we're looking for a curriculum, and then we can start actually reviewing some. We can meet with publishers, we can hear what they have to say, we can take a look at all these different curriculums, and then hopefully pick 2, possibly 3, but hopefully 2 to pilot in the fall. And then from there, we will make our final decision. So again, I like that I'm in a district where we can spend the time and resources to be able to do this. I know many other districts, once the legislation is passed, they're just going to have to pick something, right? If we haven't been kind of on top of it. So I do like that. I'll be interested to hear if you have any opinions about a good curriculum. I know there's lots of opinions about bad curriculum. The 2 that I most often see just from like, Facebook and talking to teachers. A fun thing about what I do is I do get to talk to teachers all over the country who work in different areas, not just here in Massachusetts. And the 2 most highly rated ones that I see often are CKLA and Wit and Wisdom. I feel like in the last year or 2, those are the 2 that I consistently hear decent things about. Obviously, there's naysayers for both. But consistently I hear enough good things about both of those. What will be interesting is if we pick a program that only has the language strand, the vocabulary comprehension, and not the foundational skills, we will have to get rid of foundations and pick something else to supplement that with. Or we can get an entire curriculum that has it all. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where we go from here. If you are interested in wanting to keep up with this journey, I will be happy to share it with you. I thought it was interesting. I like seeing how other schools kind of go about these things, so I can let you in on our insight and the process. If that's something you're interested in, just let me know down in the comments. Okay, so all that literacy being said, let's take a look at some of the stuff we are doing for 100th day. In the morning, I think I said I always keep like the same schedule. So we're going to start with phonics. We're going to start, and then we'll do a 100th day read aloud that I think I need to grab from over there. So we kind of keep the same parts of the day. We will keep our reading groups. And then during reading groups, I will try to find something a little more seasonal. It's also Groundhog's Day. So I think in my in my reading group area, I'm going to do a little Groundhog Day, like phonemic awareness activity or phonics activity, and a groundhog decodable passage if I can find one, which I started looking and I think I can. So then during wind time though, we're going to do some fun stations. So during wind time, I'm just going to set up my 4 groups, and then we'll just have a timer, and they will get to basically play with 100 different items and do different things. So the first one, these are mostly ones that I found online. Some I've already owned from TPT, some were free. This is one section. It'll be a pattern hat. So they're going to use pattern blocks here, and they're going to try to recreate this pattern block hat with their group. There'll be about 4 kids in each. I got these silver pipe cleaners. And this was another kind of little STEM station where there's 100 of them in here. Actually, I think there's like 110. But they will try to make different glasses. So different glasses that they can wear in different shapes. And I have some pictures to help them. I got some paper cups. These are just the cheap white cups, and I'm going to label them 1 to 100 and mix them all up. I'm going to store everything in these like blue trays. So each group will have their own tray. And then for this one, their goal is to kind of create, a tower in number order. So they'll start at 1. They can either start 1 at the bottom, or they can start 100 and count back, however they want to do it, and kind of make like a little pyramid. And then the other one, the last one, is with Legos. I have a ton of Legos over there, and they're going to try to build the number 100, like the actual number. Here's a little picture of what it would look like with Legos. So they'll have about 8 minutes at each station, so it'll be quick. They should have plenty of time to have fun after they complete the activity. If they do complete it within 8 minutes working together, they can just play with the materials there. But yeah, I think it'll be cute. one of the phonics activities I'm going to do with them is I shared this on Instagram. We did it last week and it was fun. I had put a 2-minute timer on the board. Students had their whiteboards and markers and they had to write as many words as they can. For this one, I'm going to do a 100-second timer and they have to write as many words. So blocks, drum, sling, plant, sink, frog, trap, sled, clam, and wink. We go over the words first, then I press go and they see how many they can write. Also during phonics time, I found this, I can write 100 words. We're gonna challenge them to get with a partner and see how many words they can come up with. Let's see, here I do have, oh, I said we're gonna reminisce. See, this is why I look at my plans. I knew I planned it out. I was gonna do the 100th day of school. I do have this book somewhere, but I figured if I can't find it, I do have the video here. And then after this, I didn't put the slide in yet, but we're going to do just a quick little, my favorite memory so far in the first 100 days. These are the stations I was just telling you about. So we have the pattern hat, they have the glasses. This is how they'll build the number 100, and they'll do the little cups, and then I'll set them up with timers. And then I skipped ahead to math, just a fun little 100th day video to dance with. I have little stamp books that we're going to do. Especially I like it because it's grouped by 10. So we'll stamp them, we'll count by 10 all the way up to 100. And then I have the race to 100 game. So I'm going to actually have students split up. Half the class are going to use this with bingo daubers and the other half will play race to 100 and then we will switch. So that will be during math. And then later in the day during writing, we're just gonna do what I would do if I was 100 years old or what I think I'll be doing when I'm 100. So just some fun, easy activities that I think will help the day kind of fly by and end it on a fun way on a Friday. So that is what we're up to this week. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.